this space here, this space here, this space here, this space here. It's probably off your graph there. It's just that space there. It's not the formation of words. It's not even metacognition. It is meta-consciousness. Okay, it's in the being state. So this, I think, is where our we should be looking for our we-ness. Okay, our we-ness. Because we can be separated by whatever it is that we thought, and we can get into complicated land regarding our conceptual networks. We certainly are completely divided by the words we use and how we use words. Okay, so it's something to do with the commonality of how we appreciate mountains. Okay, our biological system going, Now, it's not to do with what it means or what a mountain means to us. It's the fact that we can see a mountain. A dog, a fly might not see a mountain. A bird kind of sees a kind of mountain. An ant, probably doesn't see a mountain. All right, or feel a mountain. The human beings, we have this capacity to see, and we've got the capacity, for example, of seeing the world. And when we first saw the first images of the whole world as an image, we were all like, okay. Now that's all of us. We all share it. We all share it. Okay, when we have children, we all have these common experiences. We all have common experiences that's happening in here, which is not differentiated, okay, into categories and words and so on and so forth, to do with being born. We're all born. We're all trying to trying to work out what the listening when words were, and our parents and all that kind of stuff. Different parents, different social constructs, and so on and so forth. Different networks and so on and so forth that then reinform our parents and how we treat the children. But there's aspects of this biological, because it's close to that kind of like just sensory, direct primary sensory experience, which is common to us. And it's happening in the moment. It's not something that happened when we were children and we just think it's a retrospective thing. It is concurrently occurring. Okay? And if we focus in on this area and improve our sensitivity and the techniques, and there's plenty of listening skills and all this kind of stuff, okay? But we need a kind of mathematical description. And I'm honing in on it so that we can say that e to the tau I is equal to 1, and we're specifically interested, okay, into the periodicity of e to the tau divided by 4 to the period of e to the tau divided by 2. Okay, which is somewhere in between, I and, -1. Sounds a bit weird, but there we have it. Okay, so I've got some kind of idea about this. I hope it's making some kind of sense to you. Do I have a conclusion? 55 minutes. It's never ever a conclusion, guys. We're just exploring. Now, all of that, and even these graphs, it's kind of spatial representations. It's actually the experience as you're going through time. So, E to the tau I, completion. And in that process, while we were doing it, we are making a decision, I think moment to moment, but at different levels of scale, of how much we are together. The depth of resonance we have as we are listening means that it's capable of supporting whatever philosophical, cultural similarities, but differences. That's the important bit, to be able to support the differences that we have conceptually, okay, and the words that we use, certainly the languages that we use, okay, and the distinctions we have, okay. And it has to have a certain level of we-ness for example, male and female biological differences and the entire sensory experience of these different experiences are still, there is some level of commonality. And it happens in this space. And it happens conceptually, it happens experientially as we are talking with one another. Okay? As we are following one another in object of thought and how we are resonating. And if we do not operate at these levels and we do not have techniques, we definitely have techniques to do this. I've engaged people who have. However, they seem to be fixated on attempting to maintain these states without actually doing anything. So they feel really good at that You're like, that's great, but I need to go and buy some bananas. I need to actually interact with these people. We need to disarm these bombs. Oh, but I'm really feeling the depth of this. And you're like, well, that's really good that you're feeling the depth of that, but as I say, I've got kids to take care of. I have this machinery that I have to deal with. We have to disarm the machine. We have to blah, 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 blah. And so just feeling these things is not quite sufficient. Okay, so we have to, in the moment as we're engaging people, I think we need a mathematical form that would concisely capture, so that we can concisely, maybe mathematically, perform the function, remind ourselves of the equation, maybe, and then just go, okay, I am too ahead of myself, I'm too far behind myself, whatever it is. I'm in my post-productive thought, I'm in my pre-conscious thought, or post-conscious, and I need to kind of like, where am I in that? And some nice way so that we can navigate that concurrently in any conversation that we're having with anybody, in order to align, help, and then be able to achieve the objectives that we've set ourselves. Okay. Now I think that we'll be able to formulate this by, 2033. Okay, I'm hoping that we will. That's like 11 years ahead, but we need a little bit more as we go along. This is what I've come up with so far. It's 2022, January. So if we can make a little bit of progress with this, so that eventually at some point or other in universities we have mathematicians and psychologists, I guess, developing this form of mathematics and practicing this form of mathematics that is useful socially, not to produce AI, okay, but to be able to interact with other people in a really profoundly nice way, okay, that can be taught or practiced so that people go, I'm feeling a lot better about myself, I'm feeling a lot better about the people I interact with. And it's quite a simple form of mathematics. Not all this kind of stuff, okay, but simple forms of math, like just multiplying by -1, the application of multiplying by -1, which I talk about somewhere else. So, is this getting closer? Sometimes I think the more I talk about it, we're going into just the expression of it, and then we're just talking about some kind of modeling system, and that has, but then we're trying to push that into applying to our actual existence. No. Definitely in this space, and we're going, we can make use of this mathematics. Us, direct application of being human, we can use that mathematics, not to model physical reality and actuality, but as a projection, okay, of our actual processing. Okay, and basically within our psychosocial field, our actual time, part of history, which we are part of, and part of the global network of which we are part. Okay, and stabilizing that so that I am happy and you are happy, and together, because we're happier, we exhibit social power. And when we act together, we have social influence beyond our individual, collectively. And in that way, we expand and we embrace and we welcome humanity as a unity, exhibited within ourselves, manifesting collectively. Maths. By 2033, we have that stabilized individuals and the mathematically rigorous construct of it. That gives us a chance by 2040 to actually create global unity. Too many words, too many spiritual kind of depth. We need to have this main bit. Okay, how do we actually do it? We need the right tools, and the right ones, I think, are mathematical. So, okay, I hope that this has been useful to me in the future, at least, and for you. Please take it forward as best you can.